Chairman Miller, I want to thank you for your great leadership over many years of this legislation and bills like it to raise the minimum wage. We are long overdue for an increase in the minimum wage, and I'm honored to be standing here with George Miller as well as Senator Gillibrand and Representative Edwards on behalf of many members of the House and the Senate. And we're keeping our remarks relatively short because we know you want to hear from people who are out in the workforce and dealing with the reality of not having an increase in the minimum wage all these years. I think there are at least 15, and I say that at least, there are probably more, but there are at least 15.7 million reasons to raise a minimum wage, and that's the number of children in America whose parents would receive an increase in their pay if we pass this legislation. We have politicians every day of the week in this town, frankly in both parties, who talk a lot about children, talk a lot about families, talk a lot about family values, and then take another path when it comes to their vote and their voice and their advocacy. It's time that we stood up for children in more ways than one. One of the best ways to stand up for children and to give meaning and integrity to the phrase, I'm an advocate for children, is to vote for this legislation and to get it passed. It's long overdue. And I think it's a matter of basic justice. I think it was St. Augustine who said, without justice, what are kingdoms but great bands of robbers? And if you're not going to support an increase in the minimum wage, I think you have a hard time explaining what you're going to do for that child and that family instead of robbing them of an opportunity to move up the ladder. These are families that are not asking for anything that isn't fair. They're asking for a fair wage. They're asking for a reasonable increase over time of the minimum wage. It's the right thing to do. It's especially the right thing to do for our children, and it's also the right thing to do for our economy. And this has broad support across the country. You know the survey data. Democrats and Republicans from the length and breadth of this country. And we need champions here in the Congress. That's why I'm so happy to join with these members.